From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is U.S. Farm Report.
Welcome to U.S. Farm Report this weekend. I'm Tyne Morgan, and here's what's in store over the next 60 minutes. A double dose of winter storms wallop the U.S., and high winds leave destruction in California. But what's causing this severe weather?
We have been talking about this La Nina, if you could believe this, for almost a year.
It looks like La Nina and feels like La Nina, but not all meteorologists agree it is La Nina. That's our Farm Journal report. Cash cattle prices make fresh highs. What's fueling the prices in the new year? And USDA releasing major reports on Friday. We'll tell you what caught the market by surprise. Plus, the future of ag tech, a first-hand look from CES. Now for the news, wild weather across the country this week, with the South dealing with a powerful winter storm which spread snow and ice across 1,400 miles. Forecasters were calling for Texas and areas of Arkansas to see several inches of snow. The storm testing southern states which have learned from past winter storms. Georgia has more winter weather equipment now after a couple inches of snow paralyzed Atlanta in 2014. And Texas power officials say the grid is adequate for a short winter storm after a massive outage during a 2021 cold snap. Now farther north, states from the central U.S. to the East Coast continued cleaning up from a winter storm earlier in the week. And in Southern California, dry conditions and high winds sparked this. Massive wildfires. Fire crews battling 5 life-threatening wildfires across Los Angeles County. The largest, the Palisades fire, and it's the most destructive to ever occur in the county. The fire is tearing through thousands of acres, forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate. At last report, more than 1,000 structures had been destroyed. Well, cash cattle prices having a big week, recently hitting record levels. It's a combination of historically tight supplies with slaughter levels below the previous year, strong beef demand, and buying ahead of the major winter storm in cattle country. Cattle producers like Ty Klabnish, a farmer feeder in Nebraska, are still optimistic about the cash cattle market, but for just how long?
Till April, and then I think you're going to see a devastating turn. I think it's gonna burn some people pretty bad if you're not protected.
Now he says he's also concerned about the record cash prices being paid in the feeder market. Well, something that could impact cattle prices soon here at home. Reports that the U.S. will start importing feeder cattle from Mexico again the week of January 20th. Farm Journal Washington analyst Jim Wiesmeyer says his sources tell him the imports will be slow at first. That's due to the need to put in place new protocols. You remember APHIS suspended imports of live cattle and bison from Mexico back in late November. It followed the detection of New World screwworm along Mexico's southern border. Wiesmeyer says the temporary suspension had an impact on the U.S. cattle market, resulting in up to 300,000 fewer head being imported. It also pushed prices for feeder cattle and calves higher here in the U.S. As we continue to follow the impact of avian flu in agriculture, the U.S. is reporting its first human death from avian flu. Health officials say a Louisiana resident over 65 with underlying health conditions passed away. The CDC noted mutations in the virus samples from the patient, raising concerns about the potential for transmission. But they say no other person linked to them has become ill. And health experts continue to emphasize the risk of person-to-person transmission remains low. They say this strain is different from the version associated with the outbreak in dairy cattle. It's been talked about for a few years, and now it's happening. Smithfield Foods filing paperwork to begin selling shares of its common stock as part of an initial public offering. The world's largest pork producer filing a registration statement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company's owners, Hong Kong-based WH Group, is planning to sell 20% of Smithfield shares. WH Group took Smithfield private in 2013 after acquiring it for $4.7 billion. Smithfield plans to list on the NASDAQ under the symbol SFD. That's it for the news. Well, it was downright frigid this week. The outbursts of brutal cold that we saw, it may be a taste of what to expect the rest of the month. We'll have a check of your weather coming up next.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Pioneer.
Ben's bins, please hold.
Yeah, Ben's has been busy all day.
Seems like no one can keep up with this new Z series. What did you all put in these seeds?
Science.